This is going to piss some people off, but the truth is that the pathway to healing is not all love and light. We've been lied to. I've been lied to. I personally have fallen for this lie so many times, and I, like many, have fallen to this lie because we look out into the world, we look on social media, we look on YouTube, we look on Instagram, we look on TikTok, and there are all of these gurus and coaches and peoples that we look up to or in some way are revered, who are telling us that all we have to do is choose a better feeling emotion, choose better thoughts. And if we do that, then we'll heal. Our life will change. Everything will transform. It'll all be better. And it's just not true. But here's the cool thing. The cool thing is that I've personally found that when we turn that belief upside down on its head and actually embrace the opposite, potentially, as being true in some capacity, that the pathway to healing, the pathway to transformation, the pathway to the life that actually lights us the fuck up, is true to who we are and feels authentic, becomes a lot easier. And it's much simpler than some people might make it seem. And it starts with one very simple coming to. And it starts with coming to terms with reality. What I mean by coming to terms with reality is not trying to sugarcoat shit. Is being willing to acknowledge that there actually is darkness in life. I mean, think about it. We have the sun and the moon. We have the night and the dark. We have the light and, well, we have the night and the day and the night, my words. We have the day and the night. We have the light and the dark. If we look at simple philosophical concepts, constructs that have been given to us over time, yin and yang, you have the white and the black is in the white is in the black. There is an inherent polarity that we all are existing in this life. There is no life without death. It is, in fact, the circle of life. But when we overly invest, when we overly believe in this, like, well, everything needs to be love and light, this is very common in a lot of spiritual, personal development spaces that want to tell us everything's all good, it's all gravy. But when I'm experiencing darkness and it feels like I can't shake it, when it feels like I'm stressed or I'm depressed or I'm anxious or I'm overthinking and I'm feeling overwhelmed, to tell me, oh, it's okay, just think better or feel better, or it'll all change or transform, it'll all be better at some point. What it does in some way is it invalidates the inherent reality to life that in some way that life isn't actually an ass whooping sometimes. And it is. But when I'm honest with myself that, yeah, I'm struggling. I've been struggling. It doesn't make what I'm struggling through go away, but in some way, it doesn't feel as heavy. There's this idea that what we resist persists. That if I'm fighting, I'm pushing my hand, I'm like trying to push up against my other hand, I'm resisting, like, it's gonna get better. It's like, actually, sometimes we just need to, like, remove the resistance and just get honest about the thing that feels scary. The thing that, if I was really honest with myself, has been weighing on my consciousness, would actually set me free. Because once I get clear about the reality of what I'm facing, I can now go from this denial and avoidance into the process of claiming and reclaiming. I can actually start to, and what I believe is the personal path to healing and transformation is not avoiding, but rather embracing and learning to dance with our darkness. I'll use myself as an example. And to be fair, for those of you who are listening, This is going to be a very vulnerable, honest share about my own personal experiences in the context of my sexuality, because sexuality is one space where many of us, myself included, have experienced deep levels of shame and guilt. And my encouragement to you as you're listening is to hear yourself in this. Don't just hear my story. Hear your story and relate to and connect it to an experience that you are having or had in your life where you felt overwhelmed by what felt like something scary or dark in your life. So this is going to have sexually explicit content, me speaking to my own personal experiences and desires. And it starts with a little flashback for me to, it was the year 2017. At the time, I was moving through a difficult patch in my life. And one of my closest friends and I, Tyler, went out to California. This was like I need to get away. I need to go somewhere that is going to not be my normal environment so I can reset. One of the things that I was contending with was that I was feeling very shameful about myself and my sexuality because I had this deep, dark secret about a desire that I had. A thing that turned me the fuck on that I'd never told anyone before. At this time, I was about 20, 22 years old, and I'd known about it ever since I was a wee lad. So I told my buddy, I said, hey, I have something I want to share with you. And I remember we were sitting in these flimsy chairs on the top of a mountain in, Big Bear, California. And for like 15 or 20 minutes, I'm just like, okay, man, so I have this thing I want to share with you, but like, I'm really afraid because if you know this, like, I'm afraid that you won't want to be my friend anymore. And I'm afraid that if you don't want to be my friend, that also I have a girlfriend, like she doesn't even know this. I haven't even told her because there's this belief that I have. There's something inside of me that's telling me that if somebody knew this about me, then I will be unlovable for the rest of my life. I will die alone. No one will ever want to be with me. And even my friends will be freaked out because I will now be that guy. And this went on for 15 or 20 minutes. I'm saying all these different ways of like saying something without saying something. And he's like, dude, just spit it out. Okay. I have a foot fetish. There was this moment of silence that felt like an eternity. And after the silence, he breaks the silence with, cool. I'm like, what do you mean cool? He's like, what do you want me to say? Like, I'm not bothered at all by that. Now, I'm over here in my head, I'm like, this is my deepest, darkest secret. I've never told anyone in my life. And there's no doubt in my mind that if I tell this to someone, I'm going to be alone, I'm going to be dead. And all I have to say is like, yeah, it's cool. It's no problem. What? That's it? It's like, yeah. Like, really? All this time, I've been ruminating in these thoughts about my worthiness and although what I would have loved to have been met with in that moment was like, bro, like, nice, like, I'm happy for you, like, you're owning that, that's really sick, like, selfishly, that would have been a way that I would have loved to have had that received. It wasn't what I was received with, but the very thing that I was most afraid of to share in the world, he received it as if it was like, cool. This was a moment where what would be my biggest thing I thought would have me be unlovable, I share it, and then I felt free, and then eventually it led to me telling my significant other about it. And where again, I'm like, oh, what does she want to be with me? What if she's freaked out by it? Not only did she just hear me in it, but she celebrated me in it. And it ended up being something that we took and we turned into aspects of our sexualities. We started exploring different elements of it. And she embraced me in it. She loved me in it. It added to my turn on. It added to her turn on. It became a part of our storytelling and our journey. And ever since that one time when I finally made a point to say, I'm going to say yes to myself, even though I'm freaking afraid. I'm afraid of this darkness that I have. I'm going to tell someone. And now here I am 8 years later. And ever since that one time that I told someone about my deepest and darkest fear, I just kept telling. I started telling any of the partners that I was with. And each time it got a little bit easier. It was tough at first. But now it's like I'm sharing it on a video that is going to be public on a YouTube space, and anybody can see it. And I've done podcasts even talking about different sexual interests and desires and things that are very taboo, because I just find that this topic is something that's so shrouded in hurt and pain and darkness, and we keep it and we tuck it away. But it's crazy what happens when we allow ourselves to experience our own liberation from being witnessed in our truth. And now it's not even something that freaks me out to share. It's something that has brought so much pleasure to me, and it's also brought so much pleasure to the partners that I've been able to experience this with, the people that I've been able to experience this with. It's led to more owning and reclamation of my sexuality than I could ever possibly imagine, but it came from one decision to finally say yes to myself, to finally say yes to my darkness, to finally stop hiding from the parts of me that what kept me from sharing it was this voice in my head when I would hear people talk about, like, oh, the guy with the foot fetish, like, these people are weird. They just want to, like, lick toes and suck on feet and, like, whatever. It's like, they're weird. They're fucking gross. These are the things that would float through my head. And guess what? Like, someone's going to be listening to this, and they'll probably write some shitty thing in the comments or send me something mean. And I'm going to continue to share these things because at this point in my journey, I've realized that the permission that I've given myself through being honest, and the permission that has come for others in me being honest, has created more connection than any truth like this, and any shame or hate and weird things that people could say about me. It could never be more damaging than the thoughts and the things that I would tell myself when no one else was around. And this is what becomes available when we start to embrace our darkness, when we start to dance on our darkness, when we start to deal with the reality. It's like, the reality is, like, I'm just a guy who likes sucking on toes, and I'm into feet, and I'm into all kinds of, like, things in BDSM and things in my things in my sexuality, and I can pathologize myself, and I can make myself wrong and say, like, well, in this, in the context of psychology and sociology and what experts will say, it's like, the greatest healing that has ever come from me was when I stopped pathologizing myself. I stopped making myself and other people wrong for their unique interests and desires, and I just met them like my friend met me and was just like, cool. Dope. That's fucking hot. Tell me more about it. Oh, you've been struggling with money? You've been feeling guilty about the fact that you're sitting in a shit ton of debt? Dang, that's tough. I don't love you any less. And this can be applied. I found this for myself. It's like, this could be applied to any area of my life. I started to do it with my money. And when I did it with my money, I went from having more debt than I had money and feeling shameful about it and feeling like I was unworthy in relationships and partnerships to being in a better place than I'd ever been, because I started to deal with the reality of, like, okay, I have this much to my name. I've been avoiding actually doing what it takes in order to make the type of money that I need to make to create the life that I want to create. Let me just tell someone about it. Let me just be honest about it. Let me find a community where I can connect with people about it and do something about it. And then it changed. And the same thing shows up when I'm working with clients. Is like, they bring things to the table. They're afraid to talk about and share it. And then I witness them in it. I hold them in it. And I always tell them, like, hey, look, like, my promise to you by the end of this connection, this conversation, isn't that you're going to feel better, because it doesn't always feel better at first. Sometimes, like, someone is going to not meet you in the way that you want to be met. But if you say yes to yourself, when I say yes to myself, when we say yes to ourselves, eventually the right people, the right opportunities show up invariably, because we are being the frequency and the vibrational match for the life that we desire, that we pull to ourselves. And so my hope is, by this point, you're already starting to have some ideas about what you might need to do. But to get more specific, and where the rubber really meets the road here, is where you start to take and apply this directly to your life. These are the questions, these are the things, you answer these questions and you do something about it, You can have your own version of your own liberation. The first question is, what is one area of your life or one specific thing that you've been avoiding, you've been scared of, you're not dealing with? And you might even know what there is to do. You might know, like, I need to be doing this, this, and this. This might not be that you don't know, but for some reason you're avoiding it. You feel stuck, you feel frozen. What is that one area? If you don't already, get out a piece of paper, your notepad, write it down. Don't passively just like, oh yeah, let it be another thing, watch another video, move on to the next one. Write it down. I am afraid to tell someone. I've never told anyone that I have a foot fetish. Holy shit, it fucking terrifies me. What is the thing? What is the thing? How have I been avoiding it? Second question, how have I been avoiding it? How does it show up? What are the specific ways in which I'm avoiding my money or my sexuality, my relationships, or my business, or my significant other? How am I avoiding? What does it look like? I need to have awareness. I need to deal with the reality. Third, what would be possible if this fear was gone? What if I did something about it? What would be available to me if I started to deal with my money, to be honest about my sexuality? What could I create? What am I hindering myself from? Because this is the goal. Like, this is what we need to have a clear why. When it comes to doing something scary, we need to have a clear why for doing it. And for me, it was like the why of telling someone about the desires and my sexuality was, I just want to be free. I just want to be who I am. I want to experience my desires without shame. I didn't have those words then. I do now. What is possible? What is the why? And the fourth one, very simple. What is one small thing that you're going to do today in the next 24 hours? What is one thing that you can do to move that forward? And honestly, one of the simplest things you can do, tell someone. You're going to be really scared. Some of you are really scared to actually do this, but like, actually go and tell someone. Tell one person, the person that you feel safest with in this world, whomever it is. Tell someone about this thing that is important to you, that you've been afraid. Do the whole like, oh, I want to tell you and I'm not really sure. Whatever process you need to take, but go and tell someone. And also, like, I want to know what you're working on. You feel comfortable? Put in the comments. Or actually, if you don't feel comfortable, put in the comments or send me a message. I want to know. Because the sooner that you deal with this, that thing that you wrote down that is possible, it's there. It's ready for you. It's like, knock, knock, let me in. I'm ready for you. This version of your life is ready for you. Your higher self is calling you forward. Answer those questions. Write it down. Leave something in the comments because I'd love to hear from you. So, it's not all love and light. This life is not all love and light. The pathway to healing, the pathway to transformation, it's not all love and light. And, you know, it was tough when I'm listening to people like Dr. Joe Dispenza, and I love his work. I respect the man. I respect his work so much. It's something I still draw inspiration from. And yet, even still, people like him would tell me, like, you have to always think positive thoughts. You have to always feel positive emotions. But I wasn't feeling that. And then when I wasn't feeling that, I was making myself wrong. And like, why don't I feel better? Why am I not thinking better? And then it would just add to the way that I was experiencing. But the truth is, when I embrace the darkness and I look at the darkness and I love the darkness, it all gets easier. But what's even crazier is this, is when we learn to love and to dance with our darkness and to invite other people into it with us, we access a deeper state of love. We access more light and lightheartedness and playfulness and connection than we ever could have possibly imagined. Imagine that. The more that I play in my dark, the more that becomes available to me in the light. I bring the light to my darkness. I bring the darkness to the light, the yin to the yang to the yin. My life feels better. I feel better. We feel better. I feel more peaceful. I feel more playful, purposeful. That's what's available to you too. So go and answer those questions if you haven't. rewind, go back, answer those questions. And if you are on your own journey and you are looking for a community of people who are doing this type of work, who are looking at their darkness, the demons, the things that they're afraid of, you're looking to step into your own deeper state of remembrance of who you are and who you came here to be, and to create a life that is authentic to who you are, I would love for you to come join me and our community in the Remembrance Dojo. This is where we personally want to take it and put it into existence, sharing the resources, sharing the experiences, and creating the space where we get to be loved and met in all of who we are as we heal, as we remember. So if you're interested in that, the link is in the description. Thank you so much for your time, for your energy, from the deepest part of my heart. All of you, as you are, is fucking loved. And I'm celebrating you in the darkness that you are integrating, in the light that you are remembering, in the fullness of who you are being remembered to. Stay weird.